Martell Holt has once again found himself at the center of drama, but this time it is not because of flashy television moments or social media arguments. This time, it is about something much deeper and more serious: the court documents that were supposed to finally end the long and draining battle between him and Melody. For years, this situation has played out publicly, affecting not only Martell and Melody but also their children, their families, and even their cast members. What makes this moment different is that the documents on the table were not just ordinary legal papers. They represented years of conflict, betrayal, and pain. They represented closure. They represented the chance for Melody to move forward with peace and for Martell to show some accountability. But instead of signing them, Martell chose to stall again. This refusal has left many asking the same question they have been asking for years: what exactly is Martell hiding? Why does he keep delaying? Why can't he bring himself to accept that the chapter with Melody is over? At one time, Martell carried himself with confidence, charm, and pride. He had the kind of presence that could fill a room. He dressed sharp, spoke smooth, and carried the image of a successful man who had everything. Even when he was the one causing the pain, he had a way of making people believe he was the victim. That was his gift. He knew how to spin a story and make himself look like the one who was being wronged. But that glow has faded. That polished image is no longer there. What we see now is a man who looks more bitter than strong, more desperate than charming. The decisions he has made over the years have stripped away the shine he once had. These documents symbolize more than just legal closure. For Melody, signing them means freedom. It means she can finally close the door on years of pain and chaos. It means she can continue building her life without looking back. For Martell, signing would mean accepting responsibility for the pain he caused, the mistakes he made, and the cycles he refused to break. But instead of taking that step, he has dragged things out with excuses, delays, and distractions. Supporters are fed up. They believe Martell is not only refusing to take accountability, but he is also trying to maintain control over a situation that he has already lost. The silence around Martell today speaks volumes. Once upon a time, he was surrounded by friends, by people who enjoyed the lifestyle he offered, who partied with him, who celebrated with him. He was the man with the bottles, the man with the flashy trips, the man with the influence. But slowly, those same friends have distanced themselves. Loyalty only goes so far, and when someone becomes a constant source of chaos, even the closest allies begin to fade away. Martell's circle has grown smaller, and the silence around him only highlights how far he has fallen. One of the ways Martell has tried to cover up the cracks in his reputation is through social media. He often posts pictures with his children, trying to paint the image of a loving and devoted father. On the surface, it looks like a man putting his family first. But fans have been quick to call out the difference between the image he portrays online and the reality of his actions in court. They remind him that being a father isn't about staged photos, it is about showing up when the court orders therapy sessions, when custody schedules are put in place, when real responsibility is required. To many, those posts are not about love. They are about control. They are another way for Martell to cling to an image rather than live the reality. On the other side of this story is Melody, who represents the exact opposite of Martell's pattern. She didn't just walk away from the marriage. She rebuilt herself. She picked up the pieces of her life and started creating new paths. She built businesses. She pursued her music career. She found peace away from the drama. While Martell seemed to be stuck in cycles of the same excuses and mistakes, Melody was rising. And that rise has been hard for Martell to accept. The more she built, the more he seemed to cling to old patterns. The contrast between them has become clearer with time, one moving forward, one staying stuck. Fans online have not been shy about expressing how they see Martell now. In recent live streams and comment sections, people have described him as bitter, resentful, and lost. Some even say he looks like a ghost of his former self. The man who once carried confidence and charm now looks like he is barely holding on. It is painful for some to admit because they once believed he had potential to turn things around. The drive and ambition he used to have seems gone, replaced with late-night rants, passive-aggressive posts, and a struggle to hold on to relevance. What makes this decline even more heartbreaking is that people warned him. The show's therapist, Dr. Francis, told Martell years ago to take accountability, to break the cycle, to treat therapy seriously. He warned him that if he didn't change, he would end up stuck in the same destructive patterns. But Martell ignored those warnings. He didn't want to face the hard work of self-reflection. Instead, he went back to what was comfortable. He went back to Ariane Curry, the woman tied to the affair that ended his marriage. He went back to repeating the same mistakes, and the cycle continued. Now fans are tired of waiting for growth. They are tired of giving him chances. The sympathy that some once had has run out. At first, some people thought Martell was just going through a difficult time. Some even blamed Melody for walking away. But as the years have gone on, that sympathy has disappeared. People are no longer buying into his excuses. They are no longer accepting staged photos as proof of fatherhood. They want closure. They want him to sign the documents, to stop dragging things out, and to let everyone move forward. The danger for Martell now is that the court may no longer have patience for his delays. Judges are not there to play into storylines or excuses. They are there to protect children and to enforce accountability. If Martell continues to refuse to cooperate, he could face serious consequences, restrictions on custody, financial penalties, and even harsher outcomes. The court is not interested in his social media image. It is interested in facts, in the well-being of the children, and in putting an end to unnecessary conflict. Martell's downfall has not only impacted him but also those around him. His friends, family, and even his cast members like Kimmy and Maurice have been dragged into the storm. At first, some tried to defend him. Others stayed neutral. But now, most are simply tired. The drama has gone on too long. Even Carlos King, the producer of the show, has been accused by fans of giving Martell too much protection, too much camera time, and dragging his storyline out when viewers no longer wanted it. But television can shape a story. The courts cannot. In court, there is no editing, no spin, no storyline to stretch. There is only truth and accountability. This is no longer just a battle between Martell and Melody. It is about responsibility. It is about the example being set for their children. It is about whether Martell will continue to fight for control or finally fight for what truly matters. There is still a small chance for him to change the narrative. But that chance depends on him accepting accountability, something he has avoided for years. He would need to stop worrying about social media approval and television appearances. He would need to start worrying about the reality of his children's lives. The heart of this story is a lesson about choices. Martell once had everything: respect, fame, money, and family. But he believed he could cheat, lie, and manipulate without facing consequences. Now, instead of being a story of redemption, he has become a cautionary tale. Fans see him as proof of what happens when you refuse to change, when you choose ego over love, excuses over accountability, and image over responsibility. Meanwhile, Melody has shown a different path. She has not wasted her time tearing Martell down online. She has not played into the chaos. Instead, she has focused on building herself and her children's future. Her businesses are thriving. Her music is growing. Her children are happy and healthy. The glow people see in her now is not about makeup or lights. It is about peace. It is about the kind of glow that comes when you let go of chaos and choose to invest in yourself. Martell, on the other hand, seems stuck in a fight he has already lost. He keeps making the same mistakes, expecting different results, and holding on to something that no longer exists. The saddest part is that time is running out for him to change. If he does not take responsibility soon, the courts will make the decision for him. And when that happens, it will no longer be about what he wants. It will be about protecting the children and ensuring stability. The story of Martell and Melody is more than just a failed marriage. It is a story about what happens when one person chooses growth and the other chooses excuses. It is about what happens when one person invests in peace while the other clings to chaos. Melody has become proof that you can overcome heartbreak, betrayal, and disappointment and still rise stronger. Martell, meanwhile, has become a warning of what happens when you refuse to learn from your mistakes, and so, the question remains. Will Martell finally sign the documents and bring this chapter to an end,
or will he continue dragging out a fight that no one wants to see anymore?
The choice may not be his for much longer. The courts are running out of patience, and soon, the decision will be made for him. The world is watching, not because they expect redemption, but because they want closure.